Hello. Road to 50 million. Today I want to talk about something that's really important. If you're going to create a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, if you're going to get the clarity, confidence, and cash you want out of life, and do it now, one of the fundamental needed things is energy. Do you know how to have all the energy you want? Well, surprisingly enough, there is a process. Some ways to live, to behave, to sleep, to eat, to start your day are way better than others for having energy all day. Well, I've experimented with this for not a few days, months, or years, but decades. Decades have I worked on creating a process to have energy all day. Okay, so I'm going to share it with you. I call this best morning routine for having energy or having endless energy. Best morning routine for endless energy. Now, it's interesting. The best morning routine to have endless energy doesn't start in the morning. It starts the night before. Okay? And there's a morning routine part of it, absolutely. But if you don't do the night before part, the morning part is only partially effective. So the night before, you need to have a sleep schedule. Okay? You cannot have one. Some people say, well, I go to bed when I'm tired. And you can say all those things, but medical research shows that if you have a regular sleep schedule, your body gets used to that and rests better, faster, and more. Now, there's lots of parts to sleep, and if you have a Fitbit or a Ring or something like that, you know what I'm talking about. It measures, those things measure the stuff in your body. So it measures your heart rate, measures what your resting rate is, and then how low it gets during your sleep time. It measures how much deep sleep you have and how much light sleep and how much REM sleep. Measures all those things. And if you don't know those things, then it's hard to optimize your sleep. So the first thing is have a pretty regular bedtime within 15, 30 minutes. Okay. The second thing is how you set up your sleep. The room temperature, the room light, and the room noise all play a big impact in your sleep. If you don't know that, then we should talk about it in more detail, but I'll give you the stuff here. We sleep better when the room's cooler, right? We sleep better when the room's cooler. That allows us to have at least a sheet and maybe a sheet and a blanket or comforter on as you go to sleep. Your body temperature tends to drop during sleep also, which means that's why we like covers, right? Getting under the covers. But if the room's a little even a little warm, then that makes it more difficult. The body temperature can't drop and the sleep isn't as good. So temperature's a big deal. The light in the room matters. You think, well, I'm closing my eyes or I'll wear those eye things. You know, you can do all those things, but low or no light in the room is ideal. The noise matters. So maybe you need to keep your windows open or closed, depending on street noise. I lived for a while on a main busy street in a city, and it took quite some time to get my body and my ear and my mind used to that constant hum of traffic and the occasional sirens and stuff that would go on all night because it was a city and, those things happen all the time in cities. Okay, so control your temperature, control your noise as much as you can, the light as much as you can, and go to bed at a regular time. So those are the beginning of it. The other thing to do is how do you go to sleep? Lots of people that I know go to sleep accidentally. They just lay there and hope they go to sleep or try to relax. And maybe their body's relaxed and maybe it's not. And often it is the mind reviewing the day, racing with all the stuff that didn't get done, or the last television show you watched, or an argument you had, or all of that kind of stuff. All of that gets in the way of good sleep. So there are several ways you can go to sleep well. Here's ones that I use. My wife, Joy, and her too, she uses an app, stories. They're special sleep stories that are long stories read by people that read stories well, and they're intended to put you to sleep. The stories are kind of interesting, but they're read in a gentle way, and they put you to sleep. So that's one way. Another way is meditation music. The way I prefer, and that I've learned to do it, so I can go to sleep in probably 5 minutes or less at night. I go to bed at the regular time all the time. My body knows it's sleep. The room is dark. as much as it can be. Now it's almost summertime here, so I go to bed at 9:30 to 10 o'clock, and sometimes 10:15. It's still light, especially for the next month through June and first part of July. It's light because we're up in Edmonton, and so it stays light for a long time. But anyway, one of the things I have to manage is temperature. Now, I have a fan in the room, and you may have a ceiling fan also. In Phoenix, we certainly needed that. Fans can be turned to blow up or down. I find that blowing up causes less dryness in the nose, less hoarseness in the throat, and allows for better sleep. So I have it go up, and it sucks the air up. It's less direct air on me, and that makes it better also. What I do to go to sleep is I simply go into alpha meditation. Now, what that means is a relaxed brain state that lets your brain go into alpha waves, which are slower than beta waves. This takes a little practice. This takes some work, because if you're busy reviewing the things of the day, and especially if there's any drama surrounding them, that can get in the way of relaxing, going to sleep. But you can train your mind. And this is why I love meditation so much. I've written 5 books on meditation, and if you haven't started a practice, buy the first volume, Meditation, The Amazing Journey Within. Go on Amazon right now. Meditation, The Amazing Journey Within. It's a basic primer. It'll teach you what meditation is. It'll teach you how to do it. There are several different ways. It doesn't involve any weird postures, lotus position, or standing on your head in a corner, or doing any of that, or any special clothing. It is a mental activity designed to quiet the body and the mind and put your mind in alpha state. Now, when you're asleep, you go, further below that to gamma and then delta, not gamma, sorry, to theta and then delta. Gamma's way up, different frequency in the brain. To theta and then delta when you're in deep, deep sleep. But just the practice of letting thoughts pass by and emptying your mind. Now, this today isn't a thing on meditation. Maybe we'll do another whole one on that. So that's just a primer. Learn to go to sleep quickly. Okay? And if you need a whole lesson on that, then we'll do that. Learning to go to sleep quickly. All right, so that's the night before stuff. Now, the morning of stuff, if you want to have energy, you need to play with your sleep. You need to see how much you need. Okay? People need different amounts. And you can't play with it for one day. You got to do it a week or maybe even a month. Okay? And I need about 6.5 to 7 hours. Some people need more, 7.5 to 8. Once in a while, I will sleep 8 hours. Usually, my body just wakes me up after 7 hours, 6.5 to 7. I get up. So when I go to bed at 9, I get up at 5 or 4:30. And it's not a big deal. I just wake up and I feel good and I get up. So play with your sleep so you know about how much to get. Don't create an artificial schedule that makes you get up when you're still tired. And there's a huge bit of difference between being tired because you don't want to do the stuff for the day, like I want to hide under the pillow tired. That's not what I'm talking about. So part 2 is to learn to tell when your body has the sleep it needs. Now, you can control your sleep quality by going to sleep quickly, by learning to clear your mind so you're not hashing stuff all around all night. That can trash your body. Also, coffee, caffeine, everybody knows that. Certain kinds of, foods cause a lot of activity in the body, and that makes it difficult for your heart rate to drop. Should eat, stop eating a couple hours before bed. We all know that, so your body's not busy in full-on digestion also, because you're trying to give your body space to rejuvenate. There's lots of rejuvenation. There's mental processing, there's physical repair, all of that stuff. So I've spent now a good bit of time talking about sleep, which is before the morning routine. Now, the morning routine that I have created that gives me energy all day involves 4 elements: spiritual, physical, emotional, mental. How you do these 4 elements is up to you. That you do these 4 elements is not optional. You can make them what you want, but like sleeping, you won't know if they work until you try them for at least a month, 30 days, maybe 90 days. But if you don't have the energy you want right now, playing with this for a quarter, 90 days, that's no big deal because the 90 days is passing either way, right? So This is a powerful, I can't tell you how powerful this is. When I get up in the morning, first thing I do is meditate. Now, my meditation isn't sitting there going, staring at nothing, because you might go back to sleep. I have a document that I have memorized about myself, contract between me and God, about who I am in the world. And so I lay and recite that. Sometimes I will do stretches in bed as I recite it in my mind, because Joy's usually asleep. She gets up, 2-3 hours later than I do, and that's her pattern. But I will meditate, and I will create an intentional spiritual connection. That does several things. It helps me not dive into email and social and the phone and messages and all that stuff, most of which I can't do anything about right then anyway. So I intentionally connect with the divine in the morning. I do that for several reasons. One is to express gratitude. I'm alive. I have another day. My body's working and moving. I'm here. Yes. People ask me how my day is. How are you? And my answer is, most excellent day of my life. MEDOML. Right? Why not? It's the only day I've got. Most excellent day of my life, every time, all the time. The next thing I do after connecting with the Spirit, I said I do it for several reasons. One is to express gratitude. One is to ask forgiveness. Now, that may or may not resonate with you, but we all do things we don't feel good about. And I'm not talking about because somebody else got mad. When you have a document like I do that describes your own contract with who you're being with God, you know when you've done or said or thought something that's not in agreement with your own contract. And this is no one chasing you around. So I review, and I might have done this the night before too, but I review any thoughts or any feelings I have about yesterday or about the coming day to see if there are any things not in alignment with my contract. I call it a PTAC, Personal Truth and Commitment document. And if I feel those, I apologize. I apologize to God, I forgive myself, and I make a commitment to do something, to say something different. Some of them need you need to do something about some of them sometimes. You might need to send a repair message. You might need to make something right. I don't know. But often it's just a question of recommitting to who you're being. So that's what ask forgiveness means to me in that space. And the third thing I do is to seek direction. Now, because my personal truth document makes a declaration of who I am in the world, then direction isn't, okay, universe or God, tell me what to do. I'm going to sit here like a bump on a log. I have a commitment to reach 50 million people. That came out of meditations for many, many months. I have a process to do that. I have podcasts. I have these videos. I have LA Talk Radio. Tonight is a LA Talk Radio episode. I'm really excited about it. You should tune in. 4 o'clock Pacific. The guy that's talking tonight's an amazing dude, Winton Churchill. Yes, he's related back in the mists of time to Winston Churchill somehow, somewhere. But anyway, so the seeking direction is specific to this day because we only have the moment that's in front of us, these 8.64 seconds. That's a moment, by the way. A moment is 8.64 seconds. So the only moment I have right now is this one. And then when this one's gone, I have this one, but it's the present moment. Anything in the past is gone. I may choose to take some time in the present moment to augment, to take advantage of, or to repair something that happened in a past moment. So that's the spiritual part for those three things. Then I also have a physical part. I stretch and I honor my body and I do some push-ups and some other things on the floor, exercises, back bends and just some stuff to get some core exercises in and some push-ups and things to get my body circulating and some chemicals flowing, right? And then I have a relationship piece. I call it SPEM, spiritual, physical, emotional. That includes all my relationships. So I might pick up my phone then, and only then, but it isn't to read the news or to check on anything else. It's to send some messages to people whose names occurred to me during my meditation. Or that I look at it and there's something that I should do right now that I think I can do out of love. How can I love and build and bless and invite and help someone be excited about their own life right now? So I spend a few minutes with that. And then I spend a few minutes reading. And so what I'm reading is I've got 30 books that I'm in the middle of, always about 30. I try to clean these stacks over here out, and they just keep changing. Someone will recommend a book. I'll get it. I'll swap it out with another one. There are some pretty significant staples that are over there all the time because I read them and reread them and reread them because they remind me of who I am in the universe. So there's a lot more to this, and we'll get going on it. But that right there is a process. It creates energy. Here's why. It creates spiritual energy because I'm connected to the divine. It creates physical energy because I've stretched and honored my body. It creates emotional energy because I've sent out love and connection things. It creates mental energy because I've read and stimulated my mind. From that place, I'm able to have power, excitement, and energy all day long, every day. Now, there's more to talk about this, but I like to keep these videos to about this time. That is the first key to having endless energy to get your work done. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. We'll see you. This is your invitation. I've got a group running right now, and you can come right now. It's a high productivity, get stuff done group. If there's something you'd like to get done by Labor Day, a project, a book, a process, something you want to get done this summer. The people in my groups, some are writing books, some are doing music, some are creating ad campaigns online, some are getting members for an organization that they have, all kinds of stuff. Some are doing health things, losing weight, but they're all committed together in a small, intimate group to supporting each other to get these things done so that when these 90 days click by, which they're going to, it'll be done. That kind of focused energy, especially in a supportive group, can do miracles. My commitment is to help 50 million people. That's you right here, right now. Achieve your dreams. Create clarity, confidence, cash. Yes, clarity, confidence, and cash. Have fun. Live every day in joy. Purpose, prosperity, and joy, and live the ultimate life. If I can help you reach out to 50 million.